Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. And we're back with another episode of Fast Break Podcast. Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Got too many shows on my mind. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you being here for the Lakers Fast Break post-game show. It's Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate it. I also host the Pop Culture Cosmos right here for you. There's the logo right there. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week. Twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, TJ Johnson and I, that will drop for you on Friday morning, will answer the burning pop culture IP questions on Star Wars, Marvel, and more. So go ahead and check it out. It'll be there for you tomorrow morning, right there on the Pop Culture Cosmos channels, wherever you get your podcasts. I also host the Lakers Latest, because I had that on my mind, from my friends at the Fan Arc Network, right there for you on the Fan Arc Network. And with the Lakers Latest, I come to you each and every morning. In fact, they've asked me to go ahead. That's why I'm in a different lighting right now. They're trying to figure out the lighting. They want me to play with the lighting a little more, so I'm just doing that for them as whatnot. So, yeah. They wanted me to go ahead and make sure I come at you. I just spoke to them. They're really pleased with what I'm doing in the morning, bringing you the latest Lakers news and information every morning right there at Lakers Latest. And they told me they are also available on audio. So if you need out there a quick 15 to 20-minute audio fix or a video fix, it's going to be Lakers Latest on YouTube or Lakers Latest on also Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. You see, that's right. It is the Young Mamba skate deck. And one of you out there that's a subscriber to the Lakers Fast Break and lives in the continental United States, one of these could be yours in just a matter of time, matter of days right now, just because, again, we are going to give one of these bad boys away to a subscriber to the Lakers Fast Break, who is also in the continental United States. That will happen after the game on Sunday night against Utah. So go ahead, be here for that. Be here when we pick the lucky winner. But if you can't be the lucky winner, or you're not the lucky winner, you can still get lucky with one of these bad boys by going ahead and reaching out to Drip Show at Drip Show Shop on Instagram, Twitter, also as well, Instagram right there, TikTok, YouTube. Reach out to him any which way you can. Say, I want to buy one of these bad boys right here, the Young Mamba skate deck. You can go ahead and find out how much it costs. He can get one for you made, and he can do it for you all, along with canvas art you see right behind me, right over there. Kobe, Luka, and you got LeBron. I was telling Drip Show that the eventual home for this will be alongside LeBron on the other side. So looking forward to hoisting that up there here in the not too distant future. But yes, you can have pillows right here. Kobe and Gigi, that all can be yours if you want. So go ahead and reach out to @TripShop on Instagram and Twitter. He'll get you a quote today on what it would cost at a relatively affordable price to get your pop culture or sports related product right there for you at @TripShop on Instagram and Twitter. Also want to mention the Lakerholics have not decided yet whether or not they're going to have a show. They're going to let me know. If that's the case, I will go ahead and schedule it for you. But want to let you know about the Lakerholics on this weekend is kind of iffy at this point. I'm also going to try and see if we can squeeze in another NBA observations. I already had some good NBA observations this week. Caleb Ponce, Stefan Piscano from the Stefan Piscano podcast, and this very chat. I had an hour-long conversation with him. I have just made available earlier today, so go ahead and check that out indeed. Also, as well, I've got one coming up for you that it's right now available for members, $2.99 a month. So you can go ahead and check it out right now. But if you're not a member, you have to wait for it. I'm going to drop it here in the next couple of days. It's me and Legend talking hoops. And I'm also hoping to get one with Matt John before the week is up as well. So go ahead and check out my NBA observation show on the Lakers Fast Break, and also wherever you get your podcasts as well. With the Lakers, after the past couple days, after the past week has been kind of rough. thought they needed a change of scenery, so they headed up north to the Bay Area to face off against the Golden State Warriors. But no Steph Curry. I guess because it's a back to back, they wanted him rested up for tomorrow's game for them against Sacramento. So LeBron and the crew got in there. Sans, of course, what we saw with, of course, Luca and AR. No Marcus Smart out for a ninth consecutive game. Also, Jackson Hayes also out as well. But it was the focus on JJ's words because I heard and I got responses from people that were kind of miffed at the way JJ went after guys like Rui and DeAndre and, of course, Jared Vanderbilt as well, talking about what they needed to do to get things right, what they needed to fix, what the relationship, as far as in the case of Jared Vanderbilt. And I think him calling them out, him getting in their face, him telling them off is a reality check for all three of them on how they need to proceed forward to help this team win games. And we saw a little bit of that as far as them taking notes, especially DeAndre Ayton in today's game, because the Lakers, they came out with a little bit extra zeal and zest as far as it's concerned. 28-23 at the first quarter. LeBron had some really right off the get-go, was really looking good on his jump shot. I like the fact he utilized his bank shot. I don't know if you guys caught that, but yes, the bank shot he utilized well. Kept a lead at the half. Third quarter, turned it on even more, got it into double digits in the fourth quarter, sent it home with getting it almost to 15 to 20 points, actually, as far as in the fourth quarter, and just cruised, just absolutely cruised. In fact, we had such a great conversation on Discord. It was relaxing, was enjoyable. Nobody was really upset. It was good. It was good to watch. It was good the fact that we could actually, despite having Luca and Austin not there, still could find a way to have a comfortable game where the Lakers took the lead and never gave it up. They win 119-103. They're now 51-29 on the season. Still tied for fourth place because Houston also won in the Western Conference. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts out there. What are you talking about out there? So let me know what you're thinking and let me know what you're saying, because hopefully I will get on Joe here in a few minutes, and also hopefully as well Legend as well. So wanted to go ahead and make sure you guys were taken care of. But Tony, I like your comment before as I was just coming on the air. Uh, Good win, but we still suck. I thought that was good, Tony. That was making me laugh when it came on. My compliments to you, my friend, on that one. But yeah, you guys tell me in the chat what you're looking for as far as the game. Really a comfortable game. I understand that the Warriors are really in a bad shape, even worse than the Lakers as far as it's concerned. So I get it. I understand it, but it was still a nice win, a comfortable win. I enjoyed it. I thought it was something that the Lakers absolutely needed, especially with tomorrow's game back to back heading over to Phoenix. Just want to hear your thoughts on that. Xbox says, yes, it was relaxed because I only said hello at halftime. No, it's still, Mark, I don't think it was really much to get angry about today. I mean, the guys, for the most part, played well. DeAndre Ayton, let's go first by the numbers. LeBron James, like again, 3 of 5 from 3, 11, 17 overall, 26, 8, and 11. 2 steals and a block. He even hurt his finger because he smashed it against the backboard trying to block a shot. So he still stayed in the game later on. He came back in and he got the job done. And I give him compliments that he was able to recover from that injury and be able to go ahead and play really well. Intel says, Podfather, we are getting swept in the first round. Negative Nancy here. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. That's a very great possibility, but I think the Lakers will put up more of a fight, a little bit more of a fight. I didn't say they'll win the first round by any stretch, but I think they will go ahead, especially if they have the home court advantage. They might put up a little bit more of a fight than maybe what you're expecting. But if you want to be a negative Nancy like Intel, appreciate the super chat. That's fine. I can't say I blame you. I'm not going to go ahead and fight you on it. I'm not going to go ahead and vehemently disagree with you on it. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? I understand. I understand when you lose 2 of your top scorers on the team, you're also your best defender right now has been out for 9 straight games. It's kind of concerning. It's kind of concerning indeed as far as what's going on with this team. But again, tonight was a nice victory, and I'm hoping to see it continue. Today, DeAndre Ayton, we got the DeAndre Ayton seeing that there's nobody on the other side with a big guy that can defend him. So he decided to come and play after, especially after hearing JJ talking about how he had no hands in recent games. DeAndre Ayton, 21 points, 5 rebounds for him, a solid game indeed. Luke Kennard had 14 and 8 assists, started to make a shot. He was 1 of 2 from 3. Rui Hashimura was solid, 12 points for him. Jake LaRavia, one of his better outings. I know we've been really hard on Jake LaRavia, but today he gave us 16-7 on good shooting, 4 or 5 from 3. Where has this been for quite a long time? I mean, we had the one good game recently, but outside of that, I'm just happy that he's able to do this again. Otherwise, Nick Smith Jr. came off the bench for 12 points, and Bronny James, everyone's favorite, had 10 himself. A couple of turnovers that were inexcusable, but again, that's par for the course for Bronny James. But Joe, hopefully, we'll be here in a little bit, but is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Gerald's right here for you. Thank you so much for watching and listening. The Lakers win 119-103. The Lakers 51-29. Fourth place in the Western Conference, tied with the Houston Rockets. Said Vern said it would be great to have Marcus back tomorrow. Yes, Vern. By the way, hello, Vern. Hopefully all is well with you, my friend. Search, what's up? Mod in the house, Mod Master in the house, along with my good friend Mr. Mark, aka Xbox, best mods out there in the chat right now. Truly appreciate you joining us. Drip Show Shop, and again, help out Drip Show. Get some good quality stuff in your life. At Drip Show Shop on any social media outlet, you'll reach out to him and you can get a quote today on how you can get some of the cool stuff I have behind me right there with Luca, with Kobe and Gigi, with LeBron, all this good stuff. You can go ahead and get a quote today on how much it'll get you to bring some of this kind of good stuff. Or if you have a good idea of your own, go ahead at Drip Show Shop on social media as well. Vern said, Kennard, the playmaker, released something good. Yes and no, Vern. I'm just going to say this. I know I was talking to Craig about this. It's nice to see him play make. He's been, obviously you get to see him passing and the skills as far as his playmaking is concerned. But the two concerns that you have when you play him more, it does affect his shot. And yet, once he's gotten in that role, you're asking him to do a little bit more than what he's normally used to doing, or even as he said, as he's done in several years. So with that, it does take away his shot a little bit, as we've seen, or actually he struggled up until today where he is 1 of 2. But also it puts him at the point of attack on defense, right there in the backcourt slot. And that has also been a problem as well because he's often lining up alongside Jake LaRavia, and Jake LaRavia and Luke Kennard as your front line. The first thing you see over half court, that has not gotten over well with OKC and Dallas. But again, today they didn't have much to fear because Steph Curry wasn't there. So obviously that made things a little bit easier. And Jake LaRavia had a good game for it. And Kennard, the way he's been distributing, obviously today was a good day for that. So yeah, that was good to see. But again, this touch and go or Kennard, absolutely just really good job playmaking today. And here today to go ahead and talk about today's game. Good man indeed. You can see right after this show, if you remember for NBA observations, the rest of you guys will get it later on. It is my conversation that I had with Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, great to have you here, my friend. Your Warriors. Uh, I don't know what to say at this point. No Steph Curry in the lineup.
Wade White flag.
Yeah, they waved it. So they waved it pretty hard tonight with what they had out there. Are you disappointed? Because again, the Lakers can explain stuff away right now because of the injuries to their two top players, their top defender, their backup center who has been playing really well. The Lakers can provide some of those excuses. With the Golden State Warriors, it just seems like it's really hard to say exactly why they're in the situation that they're in outside of just we talk about talent for the Lakers and not having enough seemingly that same problem is in Golden State.
Yeah, it's a lot worse with Golden State. Their talent is more G League-ish, is like I like to call it. More
Oh,
G
we're good.
League-ish. A lot of young guys who are
Mhm.
trying to figure things out right now. And then the injuries is so devastating that, at least for you guys, you got a chance that maybe, hey, Austin, maybe they will come back by the second round or so. Maybe the beginning or middle of second round. For us, there is no coming back for Jimmy Butler or Moody and so many other dudes who are gone for the season. And it was just devastating. Some of the injuries you just can't come back from. And you just got guys who are in positions that they're just not ready to make that type of push right now. And it would be wrong with me or any other Warrior fan to sit there and expect them boys to go out there and get a bunch of wins. This is the game I expected them to get blown out. Like, you should. LeBron James across the court. That's enough to blow the G League Warriors part out the building. Should be enough. But what I will give them boy credit is they gave a good little fight before things started getting a little out of hand. But they gave a good little fight for most of the game, and that part you just gotta be proud of because I didn't expect that honestly. So they did a little better than what I thought, but I don't really got that much expectations on this thing, other than maybe you get lucky, you get past the first round of the play-in, and then maybe you get lucky to get the AC to go get your butt mollywalked by OKC. You know,
It is going to be very disappointing. Even with Steph Curry, I don't expect, even if they're able to get the 8th seed and just hop over the other teams in the play-in tournament, I just don't see Golden State even taking a game against OKC
exactly,
because that's going to be an issue because it seems it'll be like Steph Curry plays the world and the world is OKC and they're just going to throw defender after defender on them. So it'd be
exactly,
disappointing way. And we've talked about Golden State and their future. Obviously, whatever Steph wants to do, whether he wants to stay or whether he wants to go, that's obviously entirely up to him as far as it's concerned. But I know that when I suggested that, maybe he should look to greener pastures, I know a lot of people, really, really? Well, again, he probably won't. He
yeah, he
probably
probably
won't.
won't.
He probably won't. But how does he want to go ahead and age out for the rest of his career?
He kind of gave me the vibes of being like Kobe, mostly just be with one team. This is where it ends, kind of like Tim Duncan too. Go out with the same team that you started with, and it is what it is. And then he gives me that kind of vibe that he's gonna be Mr. Golden State. He's gonna be Mr. San Francisco. It's hard to see him being another jersey. Even though personally, me, I would have told him like, hey, go win you one more, man. Go. I don't think nobody in the Bay Area will be mad if he left. Not at this point. They understand. But if you choose to stay, want to finish it out there, hey, cool. That's what you want to do. But just know you're not gonna win. It's right now. It's a rebuild mode, and totally agree on the Oklahoma part. If they were to get OKC round one, that's 4-0. That's gonna probably be a 4-0 series. You'd be lucky to get one game, honestly. That should be a pretty quick series. Like I literally just told somebody earlier today, I really don't think Oklahoma gonna really have no competitive series until they get to the conference final when you had to get the Spurs or Denver. That might be when they finally got to play some real basketball. First two series should be pretty easy. It should be easy. You're gonna get either a easy Warriors team or Clippers or Suns. That should be easy. Then you're gonna get either a Houston Rocket team that's banged up, got issues, or a banged up Lakers team. That should be easy. That should be no problem for either one. So it's almost like their path's gonna be easy for them.
I think so, unless Luca can somehow
Yep. Unless Luka
miraculously come back. But yeah,
can
I
show back up.
again, do you does he rush back and complicate things even further? That's the concern that I think a lot of people have with him. But he's over in Spain right now, and they're trying to do whatever stem cells or whatever type of experimental treatment that on that hamstring. So obviously, he is trying to rush back, whether some people like it or not. Because I know that's the first thing is like, don't rush him back because he can end up
God
getting
knows,
hurt.
don't
But
do that.
you're not in
Mhm.
Spain for any reason, legend. You're in Spain right now because you want to come back as soon as possible.
And I respect that. He want to get back out there. I respect that, but I'm gonna be the first to say, take your time, man. Take your time. If anything, I feel like the Kevin Durant in 2019 situation should have shown everyone that it ain't good to rush back. He had a hamstring issue too, pretty much similar to what Luca got going on. He rushed back, boom. tore major injury, ended up happening out the whole next season. You don't want that to happen. It ain't worth it. Like I get it. You should, good for you, trying to show that competitive spirit, trying to get back for your team, trying to do it for the fan base, trying to do it for LA Nation. I get that part. But don't rush it back. Like if you just know good and well you ain't 100%, take your time. You got next season. You got a lot of time. You're going to eventually get a championship. I don't think Luka will be zero, but take your time. Okay, it ain't worth getting hurt. And then let alone the big picture to me is even if you get past the Houston Rocket, congratulations, you got Oklahoma. That's to me not a great award right there. Probably know how that series is gonna play out. Like don't rush it, man. Like it ain't worth it. Come back with a better roster next year if that's what it takes. For you to be healthy, next year gonna be right there. We're gonna hope the front office do their job, get you the right supporting cast, and go for it.
Stefan, I just wanted to mention to you, and by the way, Stefan Piscano, like Legend, was on NBA Observations this week. You can see after our show today, Stefan Piscano's interview with me on NBA Observations here after the game. He was great for an hour, man. Just it's great hour conversation. So hopefully you get a chance to check it out. But to answer your question, Stefan, I think I heard that it was going to happen after the season, but it will happen
That's
relatively quickly because of the fact that the voting and whatnot. But it all depends. I think they may have to expedite it because of the fact whether or not he is eligible. Because if there's people voting on it now, if there's people voting that want to include him in, maybe that's going to necessitating making a decision sooner rather than later. Tony, you were right. A hamstring can lead to an Achilles.
That's what happened to
If you
KD.
remember, yep, and Halliburton too. If you remember Halliburton, well, actually, has a calf strain on Halliburton as far as it's concerned.
Mm-hmm.
He had a calf strain leading into the finals, and then was treating the calf strain, and that led to the Achilles going on him as well. So. No worries, Stefan. But yeah,
It
it's
ain't
great to
nothing to
have
play
you.
with.
Exactly. But they want to go ahead and try indeed. But I wanted to ask you this. This is going to be the theme when Joe comes on here. I want to ask him the same question. I don't know if you've been checking social media on JJ Redick's responses or critiques of certain players. He
I
did
heard.
have the discussion, for lack of a better term, with JJ Redick, which he says everything is fine now. Of course, they're always going to tell you that, but we saw that air itself out on the air. We saw how it was as far as not only once but twice during timeouts, as far as the disagreements between those two. We also saw where JJ talked about Rui and gave him some critiques as well, and also especially DeAndre Ayton talking about him having bad hands as of late, which we have said this on more than one occasion on the Discord as far as it's concerned. Lo and behold, a couple days later, you got a decent performance from Rui. You got 28 minutes of something from Jared Vanderbilt, but it was the performance by DeAndre Ayton, who I'm sure was pretty motivated after getting some, critiques from JJ, but also B, seeing that there's nothing resembling a center right now in Golden State. Seemingly, he always, as you and I talked about this season, he pops up for those kind of games. Those are the games that you can count on him to get the 20-point plateau in those games. But if you're trying to ask for it against OKC, that doesn't happen. Your thoughts, though, my friend? Coincidental that JJ calls him out, and then he has a game like today where he scores 21 points and looks pretty fluid in the offensive side. Caught the ball on a really, really sharp pass from Luke Kennard, showed great hands there. Your thoughts, my friend, on this whole JJ critiquing? Because I've also been reached out by audience members who are kind of miffed at JJ for aggressively calling out these players. I personally don't mind. It didn't seem like what he said or did was over the line in talking about these guys. And in fact, on a lot of occasions, what he says about these guys in public and calling them out are things you and I, or things we're saying in the chat, or things we're saying on Discord while we're watching the game.
Personally, I have no problem with it. A lot of the things he called out, it was the truth. A lot of the things that he was really saying was just point blank truth. It happened in the game. We saw it. And I think, a lot of people don't realize that's what you call coaching. Hard coaching. I ain't here to be your friend. I'm here to be your coach. Not your friend, not your buddy. I'm here to bring the best out of you. The only thing I will say that, could be a knock, and I could be like, it's a fair point if somebody would have brought this up. If I heard Eric Spoelstra saying that, cool with it. If I heard Phil Jackson said it, cool with it. If I heard like a Steve Kerr, anybody who done won championship said it, I'm cool with it. But because it's probably coming from someone who is new to the field and haven't won anything, that probably makes some people kind of be iffy about it a little bit, and probably make some people rub off the wrong way. So if somebody would have pointed that out, kind of hard to argue that they got a point. You probably take that a lot better if it's coming from someone more proven. You haven't really won nothing yet, haven't done a lot. You done won two seasons of 50 games, wins. That's impressive. But playoff wise, ain't did nothing yet. So I can understand somebody brought that up about how you're approaching him as if he's won something or he's up there. But that's just coaching. I personally have no problem with it. Just make sure you bag it up. That's all I can say. They could come back and bite you. But personally, I think it's all right. I mean, that's just coaching.
Yeah, I what he said is not egregious. What he said is not problematic. Sometimes it's calling him out. And when these guys are being paid several $1,000,000, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of $1,000,000 on some of these long-term contracts, at some point in time, they do need to be called out if it's appropriate as far as it's concerned. If they're not playing up to their capabilities that they can play to. So that's the thing. I don't have a problem with it because I don't hear or see anything that JJ has done. I wasn't privy to what he said in the timeout. You can only, if you can read lips, then I guess then you're better man than I am on that. But I can just tell you from what he has said in public when he's called players out, it's not been anything egregious. It's not been anything dirty or
Yeah, nothing
mean or
personal
anything.
like that.
Yeah, it's just things to try and see if he can help these players become better players and help this team win games.
Yeah, that's all he doing. It's not getting into their personal life, ain't taking shots at their families or anything like that. It's just saying what you're doing wrong on the court. That's it. And you got to be able to respond to it. And that's one thing I tell young players today playing basketball. You got to be able to handle criticism. It's part of it. It's constructive criticism. The coach ain't there to be your best friend. He ain't there to hold your hand. He's there to bring the best out of you. He's trying to win ball games. You should be the same way. So if he tell you you're not doing this, this, and this, don't get upset about it. Just take it like a man and try to make the correction. Go out there and be like, all right, coach, I messed up. Let me try to fix it. And that's all you got to do. He's not getting anything personal, not stepping out of line. It's just coaching. That's it.
That's it, indeed. So again, the Lakers get the win, 119-103. They're still tied with Houston for fourth place in the Western Conference. They do own the tiebreaker, JY. So if it remains that way after Sunday in the Utah game, the first tiebreaker, I believe, is the face-to-face, head-to-head, and it looks like that head-to-head, the Lakers are going to have it because of that fact. So those two games in Houston are critical to what they're doing if they end up tying. So with both teams having a relatively tough matchup tomorrow with Houston, I believe against Minnesota, and the Lakers on the road against Phoenix, it's going to be interesting to see because they both have a cupcake to finish their season. That I'm not worried about as far as getting a victory there. I'm just worried about what may happen tomorrow because, there's still a lot left to be decided for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna expect LeBron probably not gonna play tomorrow. So they're gonna probably most of the B team and maybe Marcus Smart come back tomorrow. But I'm just gonna assume LeBron is probably not. I wouldn't be surprised LeBron probably don't come back no more after this and just be resting for the playoff. But tomorrow definitely could speak a lot. I know the Houston and T-Wolves game still got a lot going on it. Probably to me, the one I've watched the most is what happened with Denver tomorrow in their game against, I think, OKC. Even though I think OKC finna sit a lot of these guys. And we'll see what Denver do. Like Denver thinking about doing that too. It looks like both of them basically throwing the game at this point. But I think that Denver game could affect a lot because isn't it possible if they lose tomorrow, you guys win, you guys jump in front of them, or you still stay where you at?
Well, right now the Lakers, yeah, I mean, if the Nuggets and the Lakers are tied, just like the Rockets. If the Lakers are tied with the Nuggets, the Rockets, or the Timberwolves, they get the tiebreak either which way. And the Minnesota, by the way, is out of it. They're 4 games back of Houston and the Lakers right now, so they're done.
Mm.
They've got 6. They're 6 again, so they must enjoy it. So they've got 6 right now. With the Lakers and the Rockets possibly being able to jump up one more spot with Denver, but Denver, who's won 10 in a row, legend. I believe they still have 2 games left, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
and they do. Oh, against Oklahoma City, we don't know who they're going to throw out there at OKC and at San Antonio. So
I
on
know SGA is out.
yeah, so SGA has got I'm going to restitis, and San Antonio. I don't know if Wembayama is going to play a game tomorrow or if he's going to play it on Sunday, because the fact he does have to play, I think, one more, to even with that rib contusion, just to qualify for the the awards and whatnot. So again, we will wait and see what happens with San Antonio and OKC, but it'll be interesting because if Denver's still going all out, that's going to be right now. Right now, what are they going to do at this point? I don't know. I don't see a way unless the Lakers can go ahead into Phoenix, win there, and then win on Sunday in Utah. The Phoenix game tomorrow, I think, is really important about what the Lakers will actually end up doing.
So I guess it pretty much gonna come down to seeing exactly who's gonna play for Phoenix and all that. And maybe El Rosso, right? You're right. Maybe LeBron will play tomorrow. I know he usually don't play back to back, but we'll see. I mean, I think either way, it all depends too a lot on Denver. Honestly, at this point, if Denver wins, then really don't matter, honestly. But
Thank you, Tough. Got that mixed up. Yeah, they're at home tomorrow, and then they're at home against Utah. So they're both home games there.
both home games, okay. So he can go either way. Either way, honestly. So probably to me, I will circle that Denver Nuggets game tomorrow as a big indicator to probably determine what happened with the late show and all that. See if they're gonna be fourth, maybe they hop back in the third. But I mean, tomorrow should be an easy win for Rock. Well, I don't know. Rockets game, that game could go either way still. Hard to say about the Suns game too with the Lakers. I don't know who's gonna play for the Suns and Nuggets. I have no idea other than I know SGA ain't playing. I'm gonna assume the Thunder's gonna rest. Maybe they whole starting lineup just sit them and let the young guys play. But I'm gonna assume the Nuggets gonna win this game tomorrow. It should be easy.
Should be. We'll see what happens though. But I'm interested again to see if it all plays out. If there is still a chance, guys. There's still a chance for third place in the West, but again, the shots are long, so we'll see what happens. As long as the Lakers can go ahead and win, that's all I'm worried about. If they can close out the season with 2 straight wins, we'll see. But again, they're both at home, so that's good. A little bit better news for the Lakers. But when it comes right down to it, there's still several spots right now that are kind of up for grabs in the NBA right now. Anything interesting you're following over the next couple of days? Because again, there's still, like in the East with Toronto, Atlanta has now dropped to 6th place, still tied record wise with Toronto, but they've dropped. Orlando still has a shot, and Philadelphia and Charlotte have an outside shot to actually get up there as well. So your thoughts, my friend, because with 2 games left, it looks like there's still a lot left to play for.
Yeah, in the East is still a lot to be up for grabs. Philadelphia might have gotten hurt with the Joel Embiid news a little bit, but it's still a lot to be grabbed on that side, even for Orlando. Never know what can happen with the Hawks. Never know what could happen with with the Raptors. It's anybody game still at this point. I just know if it was me, I'm avoiding Boston at all costs. I'll take anybody but Boston. Boston, you guarantee you probably going home. Detroit might be the same thing too, but you might can get lucky if something were to happen with them. But Boston, you're going home. It's guaranteed. So if I'm anybody that's jockeying for spots in the East, avoid that 7 seed at all costs. Avoid it.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens, though. Again, even in the top of the East, legend, the Celtics are 4 games back. Detroit, that's over. Detroit has the conference, and credit to them because they were able to clinch it without Cade Cunningham in the lineup. But they are still only 2 games ahead of the Knicks. I think the Knicks have the tiebreaker on them, so that's why it's still kind of up for grabs. Although again, if Celtics or Knicks, the magic number is one there. It's the Knicks and the Cavaliers because the Knicks are one game up on the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference. That's going to be interesting to see because both of those teams have won 4 in a row. Both of those teams are trying to stay on a hot note heading into the playoffs. And with the Knicks and the Cavaliers, again, that's something where do you want to go ahead and be on the Boston side of the bracket or do you want to end up being on the Detroit side of the bracket?
If it was me, give me the Detroit side. Even though Detroit has been dominant all year long, that to me is the safest bet of the two because Boston to me is just all that experience. They know how to win. I'm just going to avoid them at all costs. Detroit might still be a bad matchup as well, but there is a chance that inexperience could kick in. Who knows? They don't have a lot of experience, but you never know. Things could kick in, and that could be the play factor. So I will at least take a chance on praying that maybe inexperience will show. Boston, you ain't gonna have that problem. They all experience. They've been there, they done it, they don't want it all before. I wouldn't want to play on that side of the bracket. So if me get to that Detroit side and let the cards fall the way they fall. I'd rather deal with Boston in the conference final and not in round 1 or 2.
We'll see what happens. Again, it's going to be very interesting, but I think I would lean towards the Detroit Pistons side just because of the fact that, again, with Boston, and I know what you said, JY. Can the Celtics can't they just beat the Knicks? It's something where I don't want to take the regular season too much in hand when it comes to the Knicks and the Celtics. I still think the Celtics look like the strongest team in the East, especially with Tatum back. Indeed, I just think that they're the prohibitive favorite right now, even though they're second place, and I think it's for a reason right now. But I think they could beat the Knicks in a 7-game series, but it would be 6-7 games to say the least. But also here today is a good man indeed. It is, of course, the guy munching right there for you. Dinner time indeed. But it is, of course, the guy behind the Experiment, the Joe Soro Experiment, available right now on YouTube, and Simblades, the company owned Simblades with a Y.com. It is Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. Nice, easy, comfortable, low stress victory. Sorry, legend. So low stress victory as far as it's concerned. I enjoyed it. I watched it. We all had fun on Discord. But as I talked about with Legend, the words leading up to the game by JJ Redick criticizing some of the players seemed to rub along some people the wrong way. Some of the people were indicating me that they don't like the aggressive tone, the arrogant tone of JJ Redick. And again, I said for the record, if you fire JJ, okay, get a better coach. But where is the better coach? He's done okay. He gets out coached at times. He's still inexperienced, but he's done a good job, I think, as far as that's concerned. And the 250 win seasons, I think, are proof of that. He's done a solid enough job. There plays out of the timeout, half court offense, and also sometimes being able to get this team to play defense for a team that really shouldn't be playing any good defense at all. He's found ways at times to get this team to play some real competitive defense. So that being said, my friend, when he comes off, as some people would say, arrogant in calling out players like DeAndre Ayton and his hands, like arguing with Jared Vanderbilt because he's Jared Vanderbilt, or Rui Hashimura because Rui just sometimes, especially on the defensive end, just loses focus. I don't think that's a bad thing because he's not going over the top. He's not being egregious. He is just calling it the way we are calling it right there on our Discord channel. He's seeing it on a lot of occasions like we're seeing it and calling these guys out for doing so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what the amount, the pansies in the league are likely manifested due to the pansies in society at this point. Sports is always a microcosm of society. Anyone who's crying and whining about the coach yelling at guys for doing stuff that they're doing is pretty pathetic, actually. JJ Redick has yet been dealt a full hand in 2 years. So, and yet he's been able to guide this team to 50 wins. That's with Luka, sort of without Luka. And dealing with the Jared Vanderbilts of the world and the DeAndre Aytons. See, basketball fans especially, because basketball is an easy game to talk about. You see, you can't really talk too much in baseball without getting kind of called out. Basketball, it's just one of those games, especially the NBA, where the fickle fan, the brainless person can react to something day to day. And I don't know why that's a subject. I don't know what's your reasoning about about not having the coach call his players out when they're not doing something they're supposed to do, like catch a basketball or tap the ball to a guy underneath his own rim, like Jared Vanderbilt did today. And Jared Vanderbilt has been not supported by people before he was a Laker. DeAndre Ayton was given away for free before this year. So what exactly are you trying to base your issue with those guys with? This isn't something new. And when society, and it's just probably not going to happen again, we've made it too easy for people to be numbnuts. If you're going to get angry at the coach for calling his players out for doing stuff they're not supposed to do, then what is the point of having a coach? You go coach them then. Because if you're going to tell me that it didn't work, then you didn't watch tonight's game. Did it work for DeAndre Ayton? I didn't see one fumble today. One. And we've been saying his hands were Kwame hands all year. And JJ finally, after almost a full season, finally got tired and had to say something. See, he did what you said not to do for 75 plus games. He did it, and all of a sudden now I'm seeing DeAndre Ayton catching everything like he's Jerry Rice. Wow, what a concept! Let's knock on JJ for actually solving the problem, at least for tonight. See how stupid that sounds? I mean, seriously, like the amount. I don't know if it's these bots that go around messing with people. It probably is, because I have people in law enforcement that deal with cybersecurity type stuff, and that stuff exists, and it's pretty public. But it's not just that. It's also the idiot morons that have no intelligence in any way that will just yap due to their feelings. Your feelings mean nothing to the result. Anyone who got butthurt over JJ lambasting his own players for sucking ass, you are ass. You are useless in any form of common sense. And that's just what it is. If it's too aggressive for some of you out there, and again, the cockroaches come out when the lights get turned on a little bit. They start coming out. They don't show up when things are good. They only show up when things are bad, right? You have a dirty house, there's sugar on the ground, whatever. You people that do stuff like that are useless in anything productive. When you have an opinion and it's backed by cockroach trash, you should not speak, because you only reveal who you are. You have the freedom to speak. It's America. But know that there's going to be somebody out there that's going to call you out and say you're a moron. And maybe not. Maybe we're the only ones that do that. Maybe everybody's into everybody's feelings and telling them it's okay, don't worry about it. No, that's not how you progress. When you do something really stupid, I know I know that in my upbringing, it was rather pretty clear that I was an idiot and you need to stop being an idiot. So, yeah, that's kind of my answer to that. A little long-winded, but I kind of wanted to linger a little bit, too, for those of you who are watching. We've had some comments said to us recently. Still trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what is this hard on about hating Luka Doncic for? I don't understand. What does Luka do that makes people angry? If it's him yapping at the ref, you got that one. I have no argument against that. But when you see a player for an entire month turn into Kobe Bryant in his prime, what exactly is? And every conversation in sports during that month was trying to explain why Luka wasn't an MVP, even though he's playing like an MVP. You had a lot of those sports writers and all those scumbags that vote for whoever they want instead of who really earns it. You have to. They still have to talk about him and try to discredit him, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's not something we haven't seen. For those who don't know, Kobe Bryant won 1 MVP. Shaq won 1 MVP. That's how much credibility the voters of the NBA awards are. And that's 0, by the way. You gave an MVP to James Harden, and you gave an MVP to Russell Westbrook, the most anti-valuable players on a team sport. Yet you were telling me that Kobe, by the way, Kobe was in 3rd place in 2006. He wasn't even a runner-up to Nash. LeBron was 2nd. And Kobe in 2009 and 10 was a 1 seed in the West. And one of those years, 2010, he had to go through the 2nd time in his championship runs. He had to beat 3, and then the 4th being the East, 50-win teams. But LeBron in the Eastern Conference, I guess, had more value to Cleveland, right? Kobe hit 7 game-winning shots. I believe 3 of them were buzzer beaters in 2010. I don't know what's more valuable than that, in all honesty. I've never seen. I think there are like maybe 500 players in the history of the NBA that don't even have 1 game-winning shot. This guy had 7 in 1 year. Re-education, memory is always good when you can go back and back up your assessments due to facts of what's going on. And it just sounds like all those assholes in Ohio and all those assholes in the Northeast, they're still getting their votes. And then the one place in the West Coast is the Athletic, which is a fucking toilet. They had like 13. I was looking at the votes from last year. They have like 13, and I counted it quick. It might be more. I counted 13 voters from the Athletic. This is the same company that employs people who are trying to get tabloid news out. I'm not going to get into this because it's a separate sport, but they're bums, and they have all the votes too. Even the West Coast, they managed to get a good amount of West Coast voters, and it happened to be the Athletic, which is the toilet publication on the West Coast out of all the places, right?
Yep.
So unless you're perfect, and I've said this before, the history of LA Laker basketball since 1976, this was the first year where, well, the 76, 77, first year where the writers started voting. That was the year, because the year before Kareem won the MVP, the players voted in that last year. And the Lakers were 40-42 when he won the MVP. After that, it was the writers. And since that year, there has never been a Laker MVP that wasn't a 1 seed. They will not give that damn award to a Laker unless it's beyond anything that you can think of.
I'm sorry.
And they gave Dave Cowens. They gave Dave. This is again how Dave Cowan's got the MVP in 1974. Granted, it was the players that did it, but at the same time, it's just this NBA MVP voters are the worst in my view of all the voters in sports. The NFL is not good either. I'd like to, but in a quarterback league, I guess I sort of get it. But the NBA is the worst. You had the best players of the 2000s, the best players in some cases all time. Shaq, a top 5 player. Kobe's a top 5 player. I don't give a fuck what anybody says of all time. 2 top 5 players at their position, because I kind of separate the bigs with everybody else. Shaq's a top 5 center of all time. I don't care what anybody says there either. He's got 1 MVP, and Kobe had 1 MVP in between 2000 and 2009. That's a fucking travesty. That is a disgusting statistic. And then you still have, it's kind of like, and I haven't seen the movie Sinners. There's conflicting
Really
reviews
good.
of this.
Oh no, there's no conflicting review. It won the Academy Award. Oh, actually, no, it did.
I heard it sucked too.
It didn't.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
It's a really good movie.
I'll look at that. I'll watch it, and
Michael B. Jordan won the Academy Award.
Right, and that part is interesting considering he's got now the same amount of Academy Awards as Al Pacino.
But why are you faulting him for that?
I'm going to watch the movie and I'll make the assessment from there. In my view, there have been greater movies and greater actors that haven't won, and that's a weird thing.
Why are you faulting Michael B. Jordan for that, though?
Again, I'm not faulting him. He's not gonna deny the award, but I'll watch it and we'll see if it's a Academy Award winning, a vampire movie being an Academy Award winning movie.
You need to see the movie.
Okay, I'll see it.
Really good movie. Now it wasn't the Academy. It didn't win for Best Picture. That was One Battle After Another with Sean Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio. That won for Best Picture, but he won for Best Actor. Just to let you know. So,
oh, I didn't know that, Isaac. Thanks for giving me that info. Owned by the New York Times. Why are they in San Francisco then? That makes sense. That makes so much sense.
Serge says it was a good movie, Joe. So yes, Serge says it must be good.
Well, the whole, if Shaq and Kobe would have stayed together, they would have won 18 championships. They would have had they gotten their act together before Phil came. But they didn't. Blame it on youth, blame it on getting together a certain way, whatever. The realities of that run hit pretty hard after 2003 because Shaq did not value winning after 2002. He ended up telling everyone he got injured on company time. I'm going to take my break on company time. What ended up happening that year was they ended up starting, I believe it was 11-19, and then they had to really bust their rear end when he got back to get to 50, and then they were a 5th seed. They had to play San Antonio in the second round. They lost the first 2, got back into it 2-2, and then Ori missed that in and out in game 5, and then they got waxed by Duncan at home. It's easy to say that they would have won 7, but then you'd have to say Shaq had to have given a shit to do it. And he didn't care enough to win 7. That's the problem with Shaq's career. He didn't care enough to think that way. He was satisfied too much. Kobe is not blame either. Kobe was obsessed with being the greatest of all time, which is a good thing, but his communication skills were not good in the early 2000s. It was either with Shaq, whether it was with Phil Jackson. The Shaq and Kobe run should have ended with 4. They should not have lost against Detroit. Even with as many injuries they had that year, Detroit was stout on defense. But when you have Shaq and Kobe in their prime, that has to be a win, even with marginal players around you. So I'm not going to ever buy the fact that the Lakers shouldn't have won that series. They should have won that series, and they should have won it in 6 at the very least. So going back to value again, value, circumstance, coaching being abrasive. I don't know what these dumb shits are thinking when they're getting angry at a coach, calling out players that are sucking ass. What do you want a coach to do? That's the question I'll have for that. And again, I just either they're dumb or they're bots, and either way, they're useless to society to me.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. By the way, the Lakers did win a very comfortable game, 119-103. The Lakers, again, are tied for 4th place in the Western Conference. And Joe, if they win the next 2, obviously that will cinch it. I'll go ahead and I'll relay what Mike Trudell, was it Mike Trudell said? Mike Trudell said the Lakers and Rockets share the same record with 2 games remaining for each. LA owns the tiebreaker, making their magic number 2. Any combinations of the Lakers wins and Rockets losses would give home court to LA in a theoretical matchup. Now, on the slightest of chances, Joe, even though on surface it would look like Denver has the hardest schedule of the 3, because the Lakers are only 1 game back of Denver and do own the tiebreaker. Denver does play against Oklahoma City and San Antonio to close out their season. One would assume that those 2 teams, I think SGA has already announced as being out, are not going to play their full squads against Denver. So with that, the odds are a little bit longer that the Lakers should regain 3rd place in the Western Conference. But do you see a scenario tomorrow night with Phoenix that they can get away with a victory, get that easy victory, hopefully on Sunday against Utah, and pull out a 4th place in the Western Conference?
I think it's possible. Yes, it's possible. Phoenix is good, but they're at home, and there's a desperation there. So I think there's a possibility. If Houston is to lose, it's going to likely be against Minnesota, unless of course they sit everybody, which they could, because right now they're pretty much locked in at 6. But do they want to play? Well, they're locked in at 6, so it doesn't matter what happens there.
Yeah, they're too far back. Minnesota,
so they'll probably want to lose to Houston, so they'd rather play Houston in the first round versus Denver, because I think if Denver plays Minnesota, I think Denver takes them out pretty quick. The easiest way to go with this is it's not going to be. I don't think the Lakers are going to. I think the Lakers are going to have to win both games and just clear the 4th seed. And it's unfortunate because regardless of who comes back, they're going to get killed by Oklahoma City in the 2nd round, even if they get out of the 1st.
So you don't see a scenario, even if Luka comes back from whatever treatment that's being done overseas, you don't think that would be enough to even have them challenge?
No, there would have to be a major injury to Shai Gilgeous or something like that for them to probably do what needs to get done. The Lakers were already going to have a pretty large hill to climb with everybody being healthy, and now having a hamstring holding back your player. I don't know what this stem cell stuff is doing. I mean, I'm seeing between stem cells and peptides, it's like everywhere I go, everything I click on, it's a peptide or a fucking stem cell thing.
I'm not even going to get into a discussion with you on peptides. You're already doing much of that on
I'm watching somebody literally put syringes in people's heads so they can grow hair. Like, and then they're showing a before and after picture, and they're like, "Look, after 6 months, look what happened." I'm looking at his head. I'm like, it looks the same. The fuck am I looking at?
I know that's been suggested to Luke Kennard in our chat.
The only thing that's going to save Luke Kennard is going to Turkey and getting that stuff removed from the back and put in the front. I don't know. The constant societal thirst to get things done without effort is and just accepting what you are. If you want to do cosmetic stuff, I'm not faulting people of that really, but it's the extreme part that always cracks me up. That's the part that's hilarious. If you're gonna do it so it doesn't look like you're doing it. That's what I always say. I go, if your face looks like you're at Mach 5, then what's the point? You just lost your identity, your whole face. It's better to just let that gravity go down if you look fake. And who are you trying to impress? Okay, whatever. But at the end, I don't know. It's a year that had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ebb and flows. And March was a beautiful month of watching really good basketball by the Lakers. Some of the best basketball I've seen the Lakers play in a long time. And they all got a really, really, and LeBron obviously seems to be doing fine here. I think they I don't know, whatever it is he's doing. Hopefully he's trying to pass it on to his people, right? Especially if he ends up coming back.
As long as it's not those needles to the head that you're talking about, or the peptides.
Well, again, the peptides it's a hilarious discussion in itself. The peptide word, the euphemisms that George Carlin used to talk about in some of his stand-ups. You go from you've changed in softer euphemisms is a way to scam you. That's what that's for. Peptides is just another word for we're trying to enhance something here that will likely jack you up down the road, and then you'll have lawsuits up the yin yang and people going, I can't believe no one told us that putting a syringe in my asshole is going to ruin my system, right? But I digress. I I think that the subject has been a little bit more intense this week because I ended up talking to one of my former I don't want to say he was my friend, but he was in the fraternity during the later stages of my life after I'd graduated, obviously, and you could tell when you hit a nerve, you usually hit a target, right? And he was sitting there yapping about peptides and this and that. So I ended up talking to him on a private message. I go, you just basically called yourself out. I know that you're doing shit. Oh, it's because I can do this, I can do that. I go, yeah, but I'm still going to outlive you. No matter what you do, you could turn into Mr. Universe. You're going to die before I do. I'm too stubborn to die. So what are you doing it for? What are you bragging about? What are you bitching about? And I even told him, I said, look, you have every opportunity. Here's just Google Sin Blades. I'll be there. I told him today. I told him I'll be there. I'll be here today at 9 a.m. You want to talk over your little phone? Go ahead, talk to your little phone. I'll be here once you come tell me to my face. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm done. I'm done with this yapping on the phone. Come see me. Because I'm tired of this fake bullshit, man. And going into the JJ Redick stuff, I'm sure he's sick of it too. He's sick of the fake bullshit. You know what, DeAndre? What the fuck are you going to catch a fucking basketball, dude? You're a basketball player, right? Catch the ball. I don't think... I mean, DeAndre has a little bit more saving than Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt just doesn't have the basketball IQ. It's just never going to happen. And today was a perfect example. The only reason why it wasn't as bad as it would have been if it wasn't a blowout, the guy is punching the goddamn ball under the rim to the other guy. What goes on in your brain in that moment? Why are you hitting it to the other guy? Why are you volleyballing it anywhere? I would have never played him. I don't care if there's 3 guys left on the roster. I don't like Jared Vanderbilt's game. It sucks. DeAndre Ayton, unfortunately, we needed him, and he comes in spurts. But that might be, 2 weeks away from not having to worry about that, because I think he's going to opt out. I think both him and Marcus Smart are going to opt out. And the Lakers, I feel, are not going to pick them up. both. Even as good as Marcus Smart has been for us,
You see right now with his durability, the same thing.
I think they're going to go a different direction. I really believe that this new regime is going to really focus on the draft and bringing in really, 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 really talented for wherever they end up drafting here. They're going to try to bring in the right player and hopefully acquire at least one really good player through the exceptions. And that's it. Jay, he's never regressed. He is a regression. That's just who he is. He's regression, period. It's frustrating because he's built. When you build a basketball player, you build Jared Vanderbilt. The guy is yoked to hell. He's 6'8", long arms, long legs, can jump, got big hands. Like, how the hell is this guy suck so bad with the perfect basketball physique? But it's above the neck. That's just what it is. And Smart, God love him, love. I've always liked Marcus Smart, though. I just think he's an old school player that's playing in modern times. But availability is the greatest ability in my view, and when you're not available, you're really not useful to a team in my view.
So before we head on out, and once again, the Lakers do get the victory. They are tied with Houston in the Western Conference, a game behind Denver, and also the magic number is 2 for them to lock up the 4th place in the Western Conference. Legend, I wanted to get back to you, my friend, because there's a question for you. How do you guys feel about the broadcasting campaigning, just national media, for lack of a better term, for LeBron and Steph to play together? We talked about this on more than one occasion about them getting together. Kawhi, if is he Kawhi is a free agent? I don't think Kawhi's a free agent, but he could be made a free agent even if he is not a free agent. So by certain things, bringing those guys in together. That, what did I say? The 2017 All-Star team with Al Horford as your center. So let me ask you this: if you feel that's the case, I don't have a problem with them talking about it. It's they got to talk about some things, and obviously with LeBron now having decision on what he wants to do next, where he wants to do it next. We talked about Steph maybe looking at greener pastures, but then there's always if you're Mike Dunleavy Jr. and you want to keep him here and you want to keep him happy, that's one of the things you might want to look into as well.
I mean, I get the feeling, I hear this a lot too, especially in the media. I think first thing first, just talked about it maybe yesterday or the day before. It looks like a lot of people have interest in seeing that happen. I will admit, a LeBron and stuff together, their game coexist, but at this stage of their careers, it just, you're not gonna win. But if you just want to go have fun and both go out the right way with each other, then sure, hey, go have fun and knock yourself out. But you're not gonna win that way. The Warriors really should just start rebuilding. It's the best thing for them to do, and it just it'd be a nice story, that's for sure. Nice storyline to go into it, and hey, you want to add a little salt to the story, you'll have 2 brothers and father and son on the same team, and it makes it even better. Never happened before.
If you had, let's just say everything worked out like that, and you had a Steph Curry in the backcourt playing alongside Kawhi, you have LeBron, Draymond as your front court, and your center is Al Horford. You don't think that is still in 2027, let's just say, like January or February or March of 2027, that's a team that's going to hold up to the top end of the Western Conference?
No, I don't think that team gonna be that great. To me, it looks kind of just a bunch of old guys who are really out of their prime playing together. It looks more like the years ago, a bunch of guys who are all stars out their prime, all now starting a team together. It's not gonna win anything. It kind of reminds me of kind of what we did this year with a lot of older guys, and kind of reminds me of, I can't remember what year it was for the Lakers, with the 22 or whatever. They had a
22,
bunch of old guys.
Yeah,
you just doing the same thing basically, where it ended up being a disaster, go nowhere. Like it is what makes sense. Maybe on 2K, yeah, it'll look good on 2K. You win plenty of games on there, but in real life, it's not gonna work. Them young boys gonna run you out the building.
Serge says, "Who would the sponsor be? AARP or Geritol?" that'd
It's gonna
that'd
be
be
one of
funny.
them.
Again, just in case, it is something that has been talked about. And Joe, we've talked about LeBron, and before Legend, I will bring it back to you to close out to make sure you get everybody up to speed on what you're doing with I Got Next Sports Media. Joe, with LeBron, he's still playing at a great level. We obviously see in the past couple games, especially because of the fact that it's been thrust onto him to be the number one guy on the team again. He has handled it well. He has played with great efficiency. He's played with the great effectiveness late into his age 41-year season. But where does he end up going next? That's the biggest question of all. Should the Lakers look to retain him? Should he look to different pastures? Should he look to a Bay Area, unification with Steph Curry, or a Cleveland reunion for one last hurrah?
I don't have an answer yet. It would depend on what LeBron would be willing to sacrifice to stay, or if the Lakers are just dead set on building a team around Luka. So there's not a lot of big names available this summer other than the likelihood of Giannis being traded. There hasn't been any indication that he'd want to come to LA. There's been the talk that he wants to go to New York. So I don't know if that's probably going to happen. But the free agent class of this year doesn't have a lot of big names in it, other than the guys that are kind of past their. I mean, Kawhi Leonard's a free agent, right?
No, but he could be made a free agent, Joe.
He could opt out, right?
Yes, but he could
Okay.
also do the aspiration thing as well. That
Right. Okay. So other than that, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen either, even if he does opt out. But let's, looking at the free agent class, there's some young players that are going to be available that are good pieces for the depth that we want.
Actually, he does not have an opt-out. He has one more year left at $50 million.
Okay, so he'll be a free. I thought he was a free agent in 2027.
No,
That's what I remember. Okay,
next year he'll have one more year at $50 million, unless
the Lakers right now have to make a choice. Do they feel confident in getting two integral parts of this next phase in the draft, first and second round, especially the first? Can you get someone in the late teens or early 20s, wherever they'll sit there after whatever happens here? Can they get that player and have him be a very, very, very good player that makes an impact? That's a question that can't be answered until that happens. Can you get lucky and get somebody in the second round that could be effective as well? So now you have two guys, let's say if you hit on both, that now takes you into a whole different area. And then if you can get I'm trying to think who's I know Anthony Simon is going to be a free agent, but his availability sucks. Quentin Grimes actually is like hitting his prime, and he's been relatively healthy. Like let's just throw some names out there. Let's say they get like a Quentin Grimes and a Kobe White. I'm just using those two as they have cap space. They decide that they're not going to go with LeBron, and they give these guys a contract that they take in LA. So let's just say they get a Kobe White and a Grimes. Now you have two players that are very talented and would fill in a need in a lot of ways. Depth-wise, talent-wise, playing with Luka is going to make things much easier for them as well. They're probably going to sign Austin Reeves. So now you have this young nucleus that are all pretty much the same age. And then if you hit in the draft, at least on one in the first round, now you've got two guys that you picked up this summer and then you have a draft pick that's valuable. Now you've turned LeBron into 3 young, really good players. And that's how you start this process. Does Adu take a leap next year? He could. So now you have that sort of there. That's how you build the depth. That's how you build a young team that is going to be. Those guys are all athletic too. So running and gunning with Luka, Luka's going to find you if you're diving and running and outletting and all that. So now the Lakers probably kind of have some things built up there. Do they get a center in a trade? Do they get a center in that first round this year? Do they play as small ball for a year and then maybe get their center next year? Because they're going to need something they're going to need a big that can compete with Wembanyama and that front line in Oklahoma City. At some point, they're going to need a viable big, and I don't think DeAndre Ayton is going to be that guy. So it's going to be 2 off seasons. I think in my assessment that this is going to go. And however they get their next superstar, if they even get that guy or whatever, they might just kind of try to run something that Oklahoma City really only has 1 star on that team. Everyone else is very, very good or very good with good. And that's how I'm looking at this. I don't know how else it can play out unless some freakish thing happens and somebody says, "Hey, I want to go over here." But I don't. That's not happening lately. Have you noticed that? No one's demanding anything anymore. Even this whole Giannis thing, he hasn't come out and demanded anything. No one's doing that anymore. They're really not making it public anymore. Shams comes onto his thing and he starts yapping, but there's nothing behind it. Usually, the Wojs and all those guys back in the day, the Peter Vesey and all those guys, when they would come out, things eventually followed after what they would usually say. So I don't know. I don't know who would want to demand anything at this point. It doesn't look like they're doing that anymore.
We will have to wait and see as far as everything and how it lays out as far as for the Lakers and their future. But for now, the present is that the Lakers are tied for 4th place in the Western Conference. They do have the tiebreaker, but any combination of 2 wins or losses, as far as a win here, a loss there, 2 losses, or 2 wins, could lead the Lakers and to 4th place in the Western Conference for sure. But we will wait and see. That could happen as early as tomorrow, because with a win by the Lakers and a loss by the Houston Rockets, and the Lakers could have that wrapped up. And who knows? The Oklahoma City Thunder, even short without SGA, could pull out a victory over Denver and get the Lakers back into consideration for 3rd place. But we will see what happens indeed. But again, we'll be here, or at least these guys up above me will be here along with John Costa, because I will be probably not that present. I'll probably start it, but I will probably not be there long because I have things to do around the Allegiant Stadium and the Las Vegas airport. So tonight I will be busy, but we will make sure that we've got you covered with Joe Soro, legend, and of course, John Costa here. But thanks, guys. I appreciate the great comments all night long. And if you have more, please leave it below. Make sure you like and subscribe. JY says, besides the big 3 at OKC, legend, are there any other players that will come available? Got to break that team up, G and Joe and Legend. Legend, I'm going to start with you on that. There are players out there that I know that I would be interested in if I was the Lakers GM, that I would be going after. I don't think that the big 3 at OKC is going to be broken up. Now, they will be going to the best news for the rest of the league is that they're going into the second tax apron at their current destination next season. So they will have to adjust accordingly. The bad news is they've got still like 500 first round picks and a myriad of young assets they can interchange around those guys. Your thoughts, my friend, about any interesting players for your teams that you might think might be available this summer?
Definitely coming to OKC, probably see something maybe with Lou Dort. Hartenstein, one of them guys end up being available. maybe Isaiah Joe, any one of them guys is becoming available. But the only thing about it is, even if they do, I think somebody in the chat said they're gonna greatly hurt him. I actually don't think it's gonna hurt him too much. You got too many draft picks. A lot of them guys, you can really find them in the draft pretty well if you know what you're doing, and that makes a big difference. And that's something Oklahoma's very good at. They draft very well, so they got a bunch of picks. They'll make it up regardless if that happens. And there's gonna be a lot of suitors coming after that team, coming after players off that team. So it's gonna be a bidding war, very much a bidding war. If anything, I would love to see my Warriors go after is been saying it for the longest. Can we get a center? Can we get a real center? That's something we ain't had in God knows when. Athletic center, and then just continue to get some good young pieces and and build along from there. And we'll see what happens with Oklahoma. But I feel like OKC won't really get hit heavily prior to that 27-28 season when they were really gonna feel some pain. But longer they got all them draft picks, they're gonna be fine. They ain't got nothing to worry about.
We will have to go ahead and see how that plays itself out. But I'll ask the same question. Well, actually, Legend, what you got cooking first at I Got Next Sports Media before I head it over to Joe?
Definitely getting ready for the WNBA draft. Get ready to see what my dream's gonna do, and definitely want to see. I wouldn't say she's a hometown, but she's from our states, my state at least. See what Flau'jae end up landing in the draft. See what happened to her, and then still getting ready for the NFL draft. Trying to determine if I want to live stream that draft or not, but see what happened with the draft, and see how everyone does and improving their rosters, and see if my Falcons try not to screw this up and see what they do.
Joe, again, I'll field the question to you that I fed the Legend. JY was asking about players that will become available. Is there anyone on your radar? You're a little bit higher on acquiring, or the Lakers go star hunting after Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not as high on it, but I won't hate it. I just not as high on it. But is there anyone else that comes available that you would be eyeing on before we head on out, or that you hope might becomes available?
This summer, the easiest way to really assess that is when we know people are opting out versus opting in. Mm-hmm. I can't really assume or hope for something that hasn't happened yet. I gave you those names just now because those are unrestricted free agents.
What about trades?
There could be a trade, but the Lakers don't really have any value there other than draft picks, which I would highly recommend not getting rid of unless it was for a star.
What about sign-in trades for a certain former undrafted player?
Yeah, him. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to get for him? Why would anybody trade for him when they can just sign him outright?
To get that extra year.
That's for him. I don't think teams would give a shit about giving him an extra year. They
Sometimes
can always extend
that makes
him later.
The deal, though.
For him to leave?
For him to leave.
I don't think he doesn't have any power to do that. He goes where he's supposed to go.
He can ask, like I said. Well,
if
he's shopping around and there's
here's what I would love. I would love for Hartenstein and Lou Dort to opt out, but actually they're on team options. Sorry. They're gonna probably. I'm trying to think what they're gonna do. Interesting. Lou Dort and Hartenstein get team options, yet this dumb shit gives Vanderbilt a fucking player option. There's no big names that are available in the unrestricted free agent area. I still am holding I'm still holding on to the fact that I don't think they should max out Austin Reeves.
Agreed.
I think that's a bad deal. I think what they should do is they should say, go find what you want and we'll match it. But that might be an insult to him, and I'm sorry if it is. Then Austin, I'm sorry, but this is going to be 3 years in a row where you didn't come through when we needed you. This year you won't even be available, likely. That's not, you can't pay somebody $45 million that doesn't show up when it matters. I'm sorry, you can't do that. I don't care how good you are in the regular season. And you cannot have him be the second highest player on the team. I've said that many a times. So the Lakers have to make a decision, and I believe they'll make the right decision. I trust the Mark Walter people. I do. They feel like giving him money is a good move. Maybe they think that they can use that as leverage down the road for something, which that could play a part in that too. They could say, look, let's just sign him. At least we have that guy in our grasp. And then when there's a big deal that opens up, we'll have enough money to throw at it. That could happen too. But if you're going to go in the next year and he's your second best player, they're all going to blow a tire when it matters most again. It's just you got to have more. You got to have this thing running a little bit better on the second guy.
Storm on Twitch. I'll leave this last item for you, my friend. Truly appreciate you joining us. Thank you for doing so, Storm Sync on Twitch. I will say this, that it looks more and more likely that LeBron is going to be the only top player on the Lakers for the first round. And Legend, I haven't heard your thoughts on it, but it looks by the day that Luka and Austin will not be ready. I'd say at the earliest, it would be a second round at best.
Yeah, it was. I say for about 99% at this point, it's going to be LeBron and the bench at this point. LeBron and a bunch of role guys. That's pretty much what you're going to go in the first round with. And I think I heard somebody earlier thought it would be a sweep. I think it'll be way more competitive than that. It's going to at least be 5, 6, somewhere in that range. But I think no matter what it's going to come down to in that series is how many games can LeBron really give you. LeBron vintage games. How many times can he give you that? That probably determines just how long you can last against the Rockets or whatever, who you get. But I will definitely say the first 2 games are probably critical, where if, let's say, the Rockets manage to win both of those 2, well, then the series might be over pretty quick. But it should be at least 6-game series, at least 6 or 5.
The only saving grace on the first round, though, is that they do not have every other day for the most part. Most of those games will be at least a couple days rest in between.
And that is true. That's the other thing I was going to mention too. You got a couple days, so LeBron don't have to play every other day too often. The biggest thing I'll probably say for the Lakers is who else is going to show up other than LeBron? Who else is going to show up to the party? Generally, role players don't play well on the road. And, we've seen a lot of role players struggle in the playoffs. So it's just kind of curious to see how well will everyone play. I think the only role player I would really trust to show up is Marcus Smart. Everybody else, I have no idea what you can get from. I just don't know. I don't know how Luke and them how they all gonna play. I don't know how Jake LaRavia is gonna play. Ayton, he should show up, but you know how he is. It's the only 2 guys I know for sure that can probably show up. LeBron and Marcus. Everybody else, I don't know. Just see what you get that day.
I'll leave the last item for you, Joe. And sorry, Stefan, we're going to go ahead and include our disdain for the next individual. Because JSJ's question said, yes, you laid heavy praise on Mark Walter and what he's done for the Dodgers and bringing that over to the Lakers. But they have said in public that the one still making the basketball decisions on the court is still one Rob Pelinka. So while you said JSJ was asking if you trust, since you trust Mark Walter, that's fine. But do you trust Rob Pelinka?
No, I don't trust Rob Pelinka. I never have. Even if he does a good move, I'll congratulate him, but I don't trust him. No, he doesn't know how to assemble a basketball team. Proof is there. I don't need. Do I need to explain it? You guys have seen it for how many years now?
You, Stefan, you still
22, 23, friends, 24, 25, 26. It's been 5 years. 5 years since you can say they had a team that was a title contender, which was 2021. And that year, a lot of circumstances. The season started too early. And then AD busted a tire, and that was it. That happens. But it's been 5 years, and we congratulate the right move, Kennard. Congrats on Kennard. He definitely, but that was a little more personal for me in a way because I couldn't stand the guy he got traded for. The fact that they sent him out was a godsend because I cannot fucking stand Gabe Vincent. He's the quintessential dirtbag professional athlete that just mails it in after he gets paid. Can't stand those fuckers. Didn't do jack shit for 2.7 years in a Laker uniform. But that's not enough. This is a disjointed, this is a defragmented team. It's just not a balance. There's no. The identity is a Luka-centric game, which is fine, but look what has happened because of that. It's not they have to play hard every single minute of the day, and the pansies of today's game can't handle that. You could see it. It's not working. I'm calling Luka a pansy. I'm calling Boston a pansy. I'm calling all these guys a pansy. They're all soft. We live in a soft society, and it's spilled over to all sports. It's just what it is. And I'm not going to buy into the fact that they're running more and more. They used to run in the 80s too. They were getting paid 1/100th of what they're getting paid now. So these assholes have no excuses not to be ready to play an 82-game season. Sorry, I'm not going to buy it. And they're shooting threes. They're not even going down low and actually getting dirty. So imagine fast-paced 80s with the football mentality, and those guys were playing full seasons. And those who didn't play full seasons didn't last. Ralph Sampson, great. He was on his way to being. I know the Hall of Fame is different in basketball. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. So if there was an NBA Hall of Fame, he wouldn't have made it because his body broke down. And these guys have all the advantages of all the nutrition. They have everything available. Fly to freaking Germany so you can go stick a needle in your ass, your butthole, your fucking abdomen, what the fuck it is that they do now, so that you can heal in 2 weeks. Well, gee, I wonder what, we're keeping a lot of guys out of the Hall of Fame in baseball for shit like that, aren't we? I mean, come on, man. You guys don't see this hypocrisy? They just let Carlos Beltran in the fucking Hall of Fame for being a cheating piece of shit. And Barry Bonds is sitting there looking around going, what the fuck, really? Roger Clemens sitting around, what? This has to be continuing. It won't do anything, but it's going to make me feel better. These are soft, whack-ass players. They're whack. They're mentally weak. They're not adapting to anything. They're just, I'm getting paid $70 million, $50 million. Well, if I get hurt, I get hurt. No one gives a shit. And I think the reason why I'm pissed off about it is because I'm watching this shit when I shouldn't. If you don't want to play, if you don't give a fuck, then I don't give a fuck. I just want Rob Pelinka and that whole thing gone too. I just don't like the guy. I don't like him.
The whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I don't have anything against Kurt Rambis. He's okay. He's a Laker. He's a Showtime Laker. I have a lot of admiration for those guys. They all get along.
What he did as a player, but not what he's.
Yeah, doing. That's it. But I'm tired of this mediocre talent. I don't want mediocrity, man. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't ever want to see it. I want to see greatness. I want to see an operation that cares about being excellent and great. I don't need a hug, Serge. I got my kids here. They give me enough hugs. I don't need a hug from anybody else. I may look angry, but I'm not. I'm going to sign off in about 10 minutes, and I'm going to go enjoy my nightcap and pass out like I do every night. Totally
I'll give you a
content.
virtual hug, Stefan. There you go. There you go. But there you go. There you go. I the other day when we were, found out the bad news.
Yeah,
I
I don't
gave
want. I
everybody a
don't.
virtual hug.
I'm not really. I just don't want. I don't want to look at these people anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of just what we've been having to endure. I don't want to look at Rob Pelinka. I don't want to look at any of these people. I'm ready for the new area. LeBron sort of grew on me this year because that's a different beast. It's basketball, and he's still playing at a high level. That's ultimately what matters here. Is it's about the game. Just hearing the word Rob Pelinka bothers me. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that name and thinking about that. I don't want to. I just want I want the adults to start running stuff. And maybe I'm spoiled because of the Dodgers, because they've been absolutely phenomenal. And we're talking about a team that had two of the most pathetic ownerships between 1996 and 2012. You're talking about Fox that didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and then they sold the team to a piece of shit that bought the team on credit cards. Like, the fuck what the hell was Bud Selig thinking, approving that? And then we went from bankruptcy, where guys were getting bounced checks in Major League Baseball, bounced checks. That's how bad it was. To now you have a team that has their own plane for the players, and people turning down $350 million to come play for the Dodgers. Yeah, that's more of my cup of tea. And the Lakers, if the Lakers were the San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder, because I've accepted this with the Steelers. Obviously, Steelers are a small market team. Pittsburgh Steelers are run by the Rooneys, and we love the Rooneys, yes, but I think their time it kind of got past a little bit. They're about done in terms of kind of being a first class organization. They're constantly graded in the D's and the F's in terms of taking care of their own people. That's pretty sad, considering all these TV contracts that makes them billions of dollars. I don't know what the hell they're doing with all that money. So yeah, it's a lot of little detail here and there. I know it's kind of boring sometimes for those who don't really care about that kind of stuff, but for me, I care about them caring. I want them to care, and usually what that means, you got to be excellent. You got to have the right ingredients for this to just focus on the game instead of dealing with what Genie's doing over here or what fucking Rob is doing over there. Who gives a shit?
Pinty said, "Let's fire Rob. Gerald for GM. Pinty 23 assistant." And then Stefan says,
Are they paying you in
no.
pounds? What is that?
I think that's euro.
Euro. Yeah, that's it.
Pinty's from Germany, so I believe that's euros. Yeah, I could be mistaken on it, but I know
I think it is euros.
Germany.
Yeah.
Stefan says, now it all makes sense. Gerald is gunning for Rob's job. I'll work cheap. I'll work cheap if you give me the job of Lakers GM. I won't even worry about getting a Kobe payment, Legend and Joe. You don't even have to pay me the Kobe balloon payment of 8 or 24 million like Rob got. That's fine. That's fine indeed. But Pinty, appreciate the super chats. 26 minutes for Vando. Yeah, but Jake Laravia showed up today, 4 or 5 threes. That's a good sign indeed, and good game for LeBron James. Can they repeat it is the question. We will have to wait and see. Again, would love to see Vando be productive in that 26 minutes and not tip the ball to the other team and turn the ball over 4 times. That would be great, but we'll see what happens tomorrow against Phoenix. Looking forward to hopefully a better game or as good a game from Jake LaRavia and LeBron James, and also as well DeAndre Ayton. So we'll see. I mean, there's no real centers right now in Phoenix, I think, unless you consider Kaman Malawach as the center. So Legend might actually be 2 games in a row for DeAndre Ayton. We'll see. We'll see indeed. But the words, they rung true from JJ Redick. It was great because it gave those guys some lip service, and they responded. They responded today with a big win. If you have thoughts on the big win, please let us know in the comments below. But we'll be back tomorrow, at least at least these guys, at the very least, will be back tomorrow. If it's before 10, I'll start it up and say some words. But if it's after 10, I will go ahead and not be here. But these guys will be here to cover it for you. Plus, John Costa has said he'll be here Friday as well. So looking forward to that. I don't have any confirmation yet on the Lakerholics, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But we'll make sure we got something for you good on the weekend and also close it out on Sunday as well. And remember, on Sunday after the game, for someone lucky, a lucky Lakers Fast Break subscriber in the continental United States, you may be a winner of the Drip Show Young Mamba skate deck indeed. But it is, of course, Lakers Fast Break. We'll be back hopefully as well with an NBA observation. Check out Legends and my conversation on NBA observations if you're a member right here in a couple minutes, or tomorrow for everyone else. We'll go ahead and make sure we pop it up there for you. But thank you again for watching this thing. We'll be back tomorrow night for the Lakers and Suns. Can the Lakers, can they lock up fourth place in the Western Conference? Can they even reach third? Still a possibility. We'll find out what happens by this time tomorrow, and we'll have all the words for you right here on the Lakers Fast Break podcast. That's the best I can do. Sorry, Joe. You're on mute. You're better at that. One thing I will admit, you're
Has
better
a
at
kidney stone there?
Exactly.